When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
All right, everybody. Couldn't get the open to play for some reason. Not sure why. It's DPL, right? It is 7:30 on this Tuesday. How you doing, everybody? Meteorologist Greg D. in for Denis all week. Let's start off with my favorite sound of the show. Got to pop the Diet Dr. Pepper. Actually, been going through them pretty quickly now that Denis has switched to the smaller cans. They're going fast. You know, he had a point about these things being a lot more drinkable. I can definitely finish one, and now I'm having one or two every evening. How's everybody doing? Newport Richie in the house. Sherry is there. Mary from the Lilman area is there. Click, click, click. Yeah, Maria, I was clicking. I was trying to get the open to play. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. We use this software to run this show. And it was just not, I don't know what it is. The file is just not loading. I'll have to have somebody take a look at that when some engineers get back in here. But, you know, this is the fun of DPL, right? There's always something going on, something fun, something unexpected. I've been working on some sciencey stuff to talk about if you guys want to. I know the heat is still on everybody's mind. We actually, for the third day in a row, did something in Tampa, heat-related, that we've never done. Surprise. And I know, I hear a lot of you guys saying, it's summer, what's the big deal? And okay, there's two sides to this. I get it, it's summer. The Weather Service, in its mission to be proactive, does have now more heat advisories and heat things that it issues to let you know that it's getting a little bit too hot. But this heat is intense, and there are folks out there that do have to work outside, and it's not that every time a heat advisory is issued or an extreme heat warning is issued that we're saying this has never happened before. Now, in this case, we did set some records, but we see heat advisories here in the Bay Area all the time when we don't set records. And the reason why they're issued is just as another reminder to folks, hey, it's hot, take it easy. You know, I know you run in the heat all the time, I do, but in days when there's a heat advisory, I don't run in the afternoon. Now, if there's not a heat advisory, I have been known to run at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm fine. But I can tell you, when the heat index is 105 degrees early in the morning, I can feel that difference, and I don't run in the afternoons. I definitely make things, adjust my plans, get a little bit of extra water, all that stuff to make sure that I am staying safe. When will this break? Dawn? The sarcastic answer says mid-October because this is Florida and the heat doesn't break in the summer. But I know what you mean. As a Floridian, when will we stop setting records, right? So I think that's going to be maybe, I mean, we didn't set a record today in terms of the temperature. We still set another record. We'll talk about that. But I think tomorrow is going to be a degree or two cooler. These are bunny ears, meaning, you know, take it for what it is. Thursday, Friday, kind of 92 to 95, and then by the weekend, maybe 90 to 94. That's probably where we plateau. The only time you fall below that here this time of year is when you get rain, a tropical wave moving by, a tropical system, which I know some of you are thinking, okay, well, I'm willing to put up with a little tropical depression or a weak tropical storm right now if that means 2 days of clouds and rain. But we don't want anything bigger than that. Of course, we'll cover the tropics coming up. Always so much planned. So let's get into what's going on out there now. Let's kind of rehash Tuesday. By the way, at Greg D Weather, if you're not watching there, if you're not following, I've been posting videos like crazy throughout the week on my Instagram, at Greg D Weather there, highlighting the records, how to watch for heat illness, all of that. It's all on my feed, so make sure you're following me there. Guess what's back tomorrow? Heat advisories. They're back tomorrow. Heat advisory is up. That is up from noon until 7 on Wednesday, but I do like to look things positively. Hey, there is no extreme heat warning or even an extreme heat watch for our area. That's good news. So I think even the Weather Service is saying this is probably not going to be as bad as it's been the last couple of days. So that's certainly great news. Hey, Terry from Brooksville, nice to see you. Dawn, I know, even the rain today. The rain today, I feel like this was one of those classic days. And by the way, we can see the rain in the distance on the tower cam. This was one of those classic days where the rain kind of made it worse because 15 minutes after it was done, it felt even hotter. Just really, really brutal. 96 today in Tampa. You know, I think the issue here, more so than the afternoon highs, is the morning low. We started at 82 at TPA. That's disgusting. That's not necessary. No one asked for that. Come on. 99 Plant City, 99 Inverness, 99 Winter Haven, and Sebring today. Those are the highs reported. But St. Pete and Clearwater only in the low 90s. Sea breeze kicked in pretty quickly. And check this out. Most of us are in the upper 80s. Riverview still hanging on to some upper 70s after a thunderstorm. Big thunderstorm moved by through that area earlier. Did y'all get some rain? Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills? That green is up to an inch of rain today. Southern Hillsborough picked up more than an inch in some of these storms. It was really wild. And right now, there's still some storms out there. Now, there are storms up toward kind of that Leesburg area up north of, I always forget, the Claremont area, the name of this county. Is that Lake County? Somebody remind me. Leesburg, Claremont, is that Lake County up here north of Orlando? I don't know why I have so much trouble remembering this county. And then south of Polk down into DeSoto County. We're getting some rain as well. Arcadia, I know you can hear the thunder, some clouds out there as well. Hey, Nicole. Nicole says hi. How you doing? Dawn, yeah, Land O'Lakes poured. I know, it was heavy out there. So the forecast for the rest of this evening, temperatures falling back into the 80s. We start Wednesday in the 80s. May even see a couple of showers along the coast out there as well. We're going to get the rest of the forecast here coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, I do want to take our first break because I'm already running behind as show flies by. Folks on the spot and on ABC Action News Plus. We'll be right back. All right, break is rolling. Facebook folks, that means I can say hello. How's everybody doing? Nicole says, hey. Marlene says, yeah, no rain in Hudson. Odessa had a thunderstorm. Denise, I'm so glad you're on because I was watching that Odessa Keystone area. Man, that storm was nasty out there. The lightning was crazy, absolutely crazy. Good boating weather tomorrow morning. Samuel, I think it's going to be 95% good. Check the radar just in case there are going to be a couple of showers popping up tomorrow morning. Along the coast, we may see a couple. Michael says, howdy. Michael, how are you? Yes, we are in break. I know, 82 degrees in my house. Oh, no, Nicole, there's something wrong with your AC. If your house is at 82 or I know a lot of the folks, I don't know where you live, but in my area, Seminole Heights, old houses, no insulation, wood. The ACs just can't keep up with this. And they don't get a break at night. This is the deal. They don't get to turn off for long at night. It just really wears on the system. So it's definitely not a good situation. Karen, hey Karen. Karen Brown, how are you? Kathy, hey, how you doing? 20 seconds here as we come back from the break. Hey, we've already received 100 messages on the stream. The software is telling me. None in St. Pete. Nah, Mary Ellen, it skipped all of you out there today. It was all to your south and east, unfortunately. North of you, too. Yeah, old house in Ybor. Yeah, Nicole. Oh, Ybor. Man, I probably run by your house. I run through there all the time. All right. If you're on the spot and an ABC Action News Plus, welcome back. We are back with DPL here. I'm Greg D filling in for Dennis. Let's get right to my favorite, the graphics, the forecast. Got so much stuff prepared. I'm probably not going to get through it, but let's talk about what's been going on out there, what we're expecting. So tomorrow we're back in the 90s. In fact, let me show you this hour by hour. It is showing a couple of showers, some green blips in the morning. Now, is there going to be a ton? No. And these models are horrible predicting morning rain here with an onshore flow because it just takes so little to get these showers going. I don't think these models are really good enough to really pick up the nuances of morning rain here along the coast. But check the radar just in case. Allie will be in Good Morning Tampa Bay. She's going to be tracking that. Notice 4 o'clock, very similar to today. These storms kind of line up. You know, the initiation zone, as I like to call it, is somewhere between the Vets, the Sun Coast, to 275. Once the sea breeze gets past 19, it seems to start to build clouds, and then you start to see the thunderstorms in this kind of setup around the Vets in 19 going toward the east. So that's where I think it's going to be. I'm used to you up there, but it's nice. Oh, hey, is Denis in today? I don't know. Is Denis in the chat? I saw him post something about flying back, so I know he's heading back south. And I actually think he's going to be, I just checked our schedule. Thank you for reminding me. I need to text him. He's working on Friday, but so am I. So I think he's live somewhere on Friday, so you may actually see him before the weekend. Anyway, let's get back on track. Storms, I-75 corridor closest to the coast early in the afternoon, then it all goes east. I think it's going to end up out towards the Orlando area in the evening. Coverage from Futurecast does not look that impressive for tomorrow, and it does the same thing for Thursday. Maybe a couple of showers along the coast in the morning. I think less storms. So I've got the rain chances tomorrow at 40%, and then I've got the rain chances to 30% Thursday and Friday. All right, I'm going to get distracted again. I saw Diana's talking about a bigger lasagna. Is this the talk about yesterday? The atmosphere is a lasagna. Whoever sent me the recipe for a instant pot lasagna, pressure cooker lasagna, I got to tell you, you need a springform pan to do this. It's already on the way. It's going to be here tomorrow, and I'm going to be trying my first instant pot lasagna probably Friday. I'm going to go get the ingredients. I don't have any of the noodles and all that, and try to put it together. It looked really cool, really interesting, and a much faster way to cook it. It only cooks in 20 minutes in an Instant Pot. Instant Pot lasagna. Look it up. It looks really, really good. Anyway, lower rain chances Thursday and Friday. Do you guys remember what we were talking about? I don't. So for the rest of this evening, temperatures down into the low 80s. It's going to be warm. It's going to be humid. Talking about tomorrow, all right, so it's still going to be hot, but remember, a normal high temperature 91 to 94. Tomorrow, 92 to 96. So trending in the right direction. I squirreled. Is that a verb, Denise? Yeah, squirrel. I totally squirreled. There was a squirrel running through the studio. Heat index tomorrow, just as ridiculous. Futurecast got Tampa at 113. That's actually better than what we did today, but that's still really, really high and really dangerous. And you know, I think the other hallmark of this heat wave is how long the heat index has been above 100. So tomorrow we get there at about 10 o'clock. And it's going to feel like it's in the triple digits from 10 a.m. through at least 6:30 in the evening. That's 8 hours of the day. That's the big chunk of the day. And there's going to be less rain out there than today. Similar setup, but I think there's going to be a little bit less than today. So the heat, for some of you that don't get rain, and you guys know, if you're watching from a town right now that didn't get rain today, you're not a happy camper. It is still gross out there. And those of us that did get rain, yeah, it's 5 to 10 degrees cooler, but the humidity is so much higher, so it just feels hotter. Yeah, the heat index, ridiculous. Shine 2, I absolutely agree. Hi, Greg, please, how will it be driving to Miami Sunday and a cruise on Monday? I think it looks fine. By Sunday and Monday, I don't think you're going to have a problem driving down to Miami, and I don't see Miami seeing any different weather than what we'll see here. Just a couple of pop-up thunderstorms in the afternoon. I think that's going to be the worst of it. If you've got plans this weekend around the state, I don't think it's going to be anything unusual. By the way, the tropics, quick look here. before we take our second break, and that's kind of exciting. We got a couple of downpours, a couple of storms coming in off to Central America. I know this looks horrible. It's not. There's nothing here to worry about. These two waves here in the Atlantic, we'll talk about that. Actually, let's switch over to the other computer. Let's talk about that now, since we've got a couple minutes. They're definitely there, and you can see them on the satellite picture here as the sun sets over the Atlantic. These are getting impressive, y'all. This one actually has some low pressure in it. So both of these waves, all right, season's starting to wake up. They got my attention, and I just saw Dennis post this. I posted this earlier, basically a little mini tirade about, I saw so many posts. I spent 10 minutes on Facebook today, and I basically saw all these posts with hurricanes in the Gulf. And I immediately went to the models. I was like, what is going on? And sure enough, these are teenagers. These are some teenagers or folks that are not meteorologists posting models that are 14, 15 days out. They're fantasies. And those posts were made on overnight data. When I looked at the data, the update had come in, and there was nothing. There was literally nothing in the Gulf. The models went from putting a hurricane to nothing. Been there before. It's not a real thing. So let me show you the models here. I'm going to take these all out. So the wave that we're looking at, the waves are down here. So this is the Euro. We're going to take these through. Notice the wave kind of makes it over toward, this is so hard, right there. So this is Saturday, it makes it toward the islands, but notice it's not much of anything. It's just an open wave, and that's because there's some drier air this thing is going to run into. And the Euro kind of brings it north into the Atlantic and doesn't really do much with it. It just kind of floats around. Now, then there's a second wave behind that it has coming off the coast of Africa right there. This is Wednesday, August 6th. Now, if you take that out all the way, which, by the way, this is August 12th, so now we're in Fantasyland. Fantasyland has this wave making it over toward the Bahamas, maybe the Turks and Caicos. That pressure says 1,011 millibars, so we're either looking at extremely broad low pressure, maybe a tropical depression, but again, this is Fantasyland, and the reason it's Fantasyland is because when you take the GFS through that whole time period, and remember GFS, this is the one that puts out a Category 5 hurricane every time, 10, 15 days out. Folks, it's got nothing. La nada. Nada. There's nothing in there. Not a wave, not a storm. I mean, remember the Euro GFS, this area right here, the Euro has that low. The GFS, same period, nothing. It doesn't even have rain around Cuba and the Bahamas. So we're in a territory that basically there's nothing out there. I'm not really worried about it. It is Fantasyland. Hey, like Magic Kingdom. Oh, is that right? Am I thinking right? There's a Fantasyland, or is that at Disneyland in California? Somebody correct me. There's so many lands. Break. Oh, Carol, good call. Let's take a break. Those of you on the spot, we'll be right back. Carol, thank you so much. That was a good call. Carol's on top of it. Okay, 90 seconds. We got to take one more break. Hey, I think we're going to have a chance here to get sciencey when we get back. I think we're actually going to be able to do it. I see this happening, y'all. I'm not sure how that's going to happen, but I think it's going to happen. And I have so many graphics, so I think we'll be able to get sciencey and then even take some questions at the end. I like the nada too. The nada, Spanish, Portuguese also for nothing. We love that. All right. Yep. Hey, Karen, no problem. I like filling in for Dennis. You guys are kind of fun. You guys have been really nice to me. What do the water temperatures look like? Reddington Shores. Kenny, the latest reading this afternoon was 89 degrees. Here is the deal, though, and the little inside baseball about water temperatures. Absolutely, the heat wave warms the water, but it warms the water only at the beaches near the coast where it's shallow really quickly. So you can actually see the change through the heat wave. The water farther out where the Gulf is deeper, it takes longer to warm. They're not getting a heat wave over the Gulf right now, so you're not seeing the same warming. So it's just near the coast. And then when the heat wave subsides, the water temperatures will likely pull back some as well. Especially if we get some rain, then that tends to bring the water temperatures down. So coastal water temperatures are not reflective of the entire Gulf. All right, if you're watching on the spot, I'm meteorologist Greg D. We are doing Denis Phillips live this evening. And yeah, I think we have time for my favorite segment. You guys know where this is going. Let me scroll to the correct graphics. Let me pull up the correct graphics. You know what's coming. Here we go. Let's get the transition, make sure everyone can see. Of course, Teresa is already headband. Let's get sciencey, sciencey. I want to get sciencey. Let's talk about the temperature. Dance move. See, the music kept playing in my head. You just didn't hear it. Why can't I? See, it's backwards on my monitor. I cannot. Am I wearing this right? You know, I'm just not. I was born in the 80s, but I'm not a good representative for the 80s. I'm really trying, right? It's like a thinking cap. That's very good, Laura, because it doesn't cover my entire head. It requires ventilation. And it really represents the amount of thinking that we do on this show, which is just a small band of it. The squirrel action is up here. There's no thinking above the band. All right, let's get sciencey, folks. Let's talk about it. So this is the record that we set in Tampa today. Yesterday, briefly, for 5 minutes, the heat index reached 120. But it was not the official heat index because the airport reports once per hour. And they report a heat index for that entire hour. So in order for us to set a heat index record, we had to maintain something higher than 118, which was previously reported, for the entire hour. And we did that today. During the 2 o'clock report, the airport reported an average heat index of 119. That is now the highest heat index ever recorded at the Tampa airport since those records began. And the heat index records reported, they started much later, 1948. And technically, because this is not officially tracked by the National Weather Service, this is not an official record. But we did hit it, 119. And you know what? I get a lot of questions. Why is this heat unusual? Have things really been warming like we're saying? Yeah. They really have. And I wanted to show you this. So there's these folks at Climate Matters, and they make all these amazing graphics. This graphic just looks at the city of Tampa. I'm going to take just this one full screen so you guys can see it. But it basically shows the city of Tampa, which I know has a really strange border. And the red and purple colors indicate how much hotter people are feeling during the summer because they live in an urban environment. And you see around the downtown core, South Tampa, MacDill Air Force Base, that is up to 9 degrees hotter. 27,000 people are experiencing up to 9 degrees hotter temperatures because they live in an urban area. There are things that we can do that reduce that urban heat island effect is what it's called. When we put buildings, cars, obviously roads, we increase the temperature. But if we add more water features or plant trees and put in parks, we can actually help reduce the temperature by quite a bit. Let me show you that. So what they're saying here in their report is that by planting trees and parks, we can reduce the temperature by up to 3 degrees in the urban area. That's awesome. That is really, really great. And that's why the city's been pushing on planting more trees. In fact, if you live in the city of Tampa, you can call the city. If you've got room for it, they will plant a tree in your yard. And there's several native species you can choose from. I'm going to show you an incredible stat about Tampa and temperatures. I'm going to keep my thinking cap on coming up in a minute. Last break. Here we go. All right. How's everybody doing? I got to tell you, this is a little hot. So what do you guys think? Does this go over the ears, or should my ears stick out? Should I accentuate the ear sticking outedness? Is that what's the style here? I've never worn this. Somebody please tell me in the ban the headband. We can't ban the headband. Come on. Charlotte, you don't like the headband? Commercial break number 3. That sweatband gotta go. Over the ears. People say over the ears. Okay, over the ears. Michael too. Really? I think we're gonna have to keep it because it's in the photo. It's in the picture. We gotta keep it, y'all. All right, 35 seconds. Ears stick out. Okay, Arlene likes the ears sticking out. I'm not sure. Is disrespectful a trending weather term? I've seen it quite a bit. That's a great question. I'm not sure. I've not seen a lot of the meteorologists in my circle, but you know what? A lot of times, a lot of us are on social media, and it's like you hear the word a lot, or it's a trending word on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, and you just find yourself picking it up. So I would not be surprised if we're just naturally using the word disrespectful more because of just people using it. All right, if you're watching on the spot, 4 more minutes left. Welcome back in our last segment here. I wanted to show you something as we continue to talk about the warming. Camille says, you look cool, dude. Kathleen says she'd give me a pair of leg warmers. I had the wristbands, but it's too hot for the wristbands. I wanted to show you this. You know, I mean, there's lots of ways to show weather patterns and how they've changed over the decades. But in Tampa, this shows how many records have been set in the city of Tampa. Record highs and record lows by decade, okay? The blue are record lows. The lower the number, the lower the graph down, the more record lows we set that decade. The red bars up, the higher they are, the more record highs we set for that decade. Check this out. In the last 20 years, how about this stat? In the last 20 years, Tampa has not set a record low. We are the only city in the United States to have done that. The only metro area that has not set a record low temperature in the last 20 years. And here's why. I had somebody ask me, well, if the temperature has only gone up 1 degree, how is that significant? The 1 degree warming that we've seen around the globe is the entire Earth. But when you look at local areas like Tampa, this is significant. Since 1970, almost all of the warming we've seen in Tampa has been overnight. And it's because of water temperatures. They're keeping our overnight temperatures up. So even though Tampa's daytime temperature has only increased about 2 degrees since 1970, about 50 years, our overnight temperature has increased twice as much. 4.2 degrees warmer during the overnights. Your AC, is that gonna, you know, people ask me, well, are we all gonna be flooded because of climate change? No. It's gonna feel a little hotter. How are we paying for this? Your AC is running more at night. Your electric bills are running higher. The electric company has to produce more electricity because we're not seeing as big of a drop off at night, and then they're passing that cost along to us. So the way climate change is going to affect us is not the way we visualize it. A big flood of water, the glaciers melting, and the ocean rising 30 feet. It's going to happen like this. It's economics first. It's the cost of it. The little slow increases in our insurance rates, in our electricity rates. This is how this happens, and it inches up. It's not a wave. It's not like a tsunami. It happens very, very slowly. 2-minute warning. Oh, my goodness. My goodness, Anna Maria. Oh, okay, well, that's the last graphic. Anybody have any questions for the sciencey segment? Yeah, it is like a battery. Michael, that is exactly how I teach it. That is a great way to think about it. The ocean is like a battery. The water is the way the Earth stores heat. And it is through that battery, the water is storing the heat and then releasing it at night is how we're warming here in the Bay Area. It takes a lot of energy to warm water, but that also means it stores a lot of it. And because we're surrounded by it, we're seeing those impacts overnight more. And those of you that are gardeners, you know this. You can grow plants here now that you couldn't grow before because of the warmer temperatures. All right, those of you on the spot and on ABC Action News Plus, we'll see you tomorrow as we conclude DPL. All right, the rest of you, hey, I'll hang around for a couple minutes. Cookie does need a headband. Speaking of which, I will have to go a little earlier than yesterday. I got a comment yesterday. Uh-oh. you're kind of late today. What happened? Well, DPL, I'm with my DPL friends, but today we're going to go for a little walk with Cookie before we eat. So there were no thunderstorms around Tampa, so she's probably more likely to want to go for a walk tonight. If there's been a thunderstorm recently, she's even scared to go out in the evening. She actually just goes out, pees, does her business, and comes back because she gets scared of the thunder. And she can hear it like 30 miles away. Tonight, we're nice and quiet. Aaron, what plants? So I don't have specific plants, Aaron, but I can tell you that places in Pinellas and Hillsborough County have gone up a growing zone or two. So plants that used to only grow in South Florida can now be grown in coastal portions of Pinellas and Hillsborough counties because Pinellas County doesn't fall into the 30s anymore. The averages now drop us into the 40s. And now that allows some plants that previously would not grow here to grow in this area. 758 says Charlotte, yep. That was a good one. You guys like this one? Mary Roberts, thank you. You know, I'm always going into this not knowing what to expect, what we're going to do, how this is going to go. And I am much more of a type A personality. I need things organized and planned. So going into a show with no plan is really, really scary. Luckily, there are 3 breaks, and I got you guys here to keep me entertained, which is always nice. Denis is on his way back from New York tonight. He is coming back. We're zone 10 now, more tropical stuff. Yeah, right, Charlotte, I don't know, what was the zone before? Was it 9A, 9B? It's kind of crazy you know, this is climate change, right? This is, and I think that word has so many charged meanings to it. And of course, we've politicized everything, which is just so stupid because it just affects everybody. But we're seeing it, whether you're a gardener, whether you're an electrician, whether you're just a homeowner cooling their home, you see these changes and then you add it all together. All right, well, I used to not be able to grow this plant when I was a kid, or you know, the AC would not run this much, or we didn't need the AC for a part of the year, right? And now we're putting ACs in cities that used to not have AC. The home I grew up in Connecticut didn't have AC. It was built in the 1950s. The lady there never installed it when my parents bought it from her. This little cottage, little house. You didn't need it. Never got that hot. Now my parents have central air, and they run it for basically the whole summer. That was not the case before. Cool down just a bit. Justin, if you missed it, I think tomorrow is already going to be a degree or so lower. We don't have heat warnings. We have heat advisories. I think Thursday, Friday, another degree lower. Maybe by early next week, even down to the low 90s, with some lows more down in the mid 70s away from the coast. So that's definitely going to feel better. Pinellas County was, okay, Charlotte, perfect, was 9AB. Now we're 10AB. Charlotte, since you know this off the top of your head, I don't know, do you know of a plant that now does better in our zone? I am interested in this stuff, but I'm not a gardener, so I know the general gist of things, but I don't know specific. 10A in Seminole, yeah. I mean, that was not the case. 10A was like a South Florida thing. What is the definition of that? Subtropical, maybe? BJ also grew up in Connecticut in the 50s house with no AC. Yeah, it's tough up there today. Heat advisories, they've been on the heat advisories for as long as we have. My parents have been in the 90s. And at night it doesn't get as cool too. Yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah, didn't have AC growing up on Long Island. And that's another thing, right? At places like Long Island, with the summers warming, you're going to see warmer temperatures around Long Island. Now, they're not going to be 20 degrees warmer. They'll be 3 or 4 degrees warmer. But that means at night, Long Island is not going to cool as much. And you're already working with an urban environment, especially Western Long Island. So now those temperatures overnight, New York City is going to stay in the 80s more at nights because it's such a large urban area. It is kind of crazy. Eric says hello from Clearwater. Eric, hello. Didn't have one growing up in Largo. Yeah, there are people. Actually, there's an older couple. I live in Tampa Heights, so a lot of old buildings. Clearly, those were built without AC because it wasn't available in the 1920s. But there's a couple there that lives around the corner from me. They still have window units, a couple of window units. Their house was not designed for air conditioning, and it's not a 1920s house. It's probably, it looks like maybe the 60s or 70s. It's got that kind of Brady house design to it. Brady Bunch, by the way, not Tom Brady. It wasn't designed for AC. The porches here, right? We used to be able to just move the air around, cooler at night. It's just not happening anymore. Wow, I grew up in West Palm Beach with no AC, and I can't imagine that. Yeah, isn't that crazy? West Palm Beach, even farther south. You could grow up without AC. Now that's just impossible. Attic fans, yeah. Attic fans have helped that as well. David says, yeah, plants struggle in the heat. Tell me about it. I lived for 6.5 years in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I thought that I could have such a thing as a summer garden. Literally impossible. Little Rock was in the triple digits for like a week, 2 weeks at a time, like 108, 106. The dew points were lower. It was windy, so the air would dry everything. Even tomatoes, like plants that love the heat, would not grow. I would water twice, 3 times a day, could not keep up with the heat. It was just incredible. Hey, Charlotte. Okay, yeah, I remember a few months ago when we launched the Planting Pinellas Master Gardeners podcast. I remember that. Okay, I remember Charlotte. All right, there you go. You got some gardeners. By the way, Charlotte, can you email me when St. Pete is doing that? It's like a plant sale. What is it? It's almost like a flea market, but it's plants. I don't remember what it's called. But I've missed it the last 2 years, and that is one of my favorite events to go to. It's in one of the parks in St. Pete. I believe it's put on by the city. I know there's just orchids everywhere, just all kinds of cool plants and vendors kind of related to planting and gardening. One of my favorite events to go to. So if you can remember, message me or something around that event. I'm sure it's scheduled for sometime in the cooler months, and I'd love to go. Yeah, is that what it is, the native plant sale, BJ? I think that's what it is. I want to say, yeah, Carrie, 1978 house. So that is well after AC was invented. Greenfest in the spring. That's it. Any storms, Sarasota tonight? Let's do a weather check. Last look at the radar, and then I'll head out. So let's do one last check here. Here we go. Sarasota is clear. There's 2 storms. Actually, oh, look at this, guys. Not for us. Actually, okay. I didn't know if somebody told me the name of this county, but I will know now because there's a warning for it. Lake County. It is Lake County. I was right. Okay. So Lake County, this is up toward kind of that Wildwood Villages area, Leesburg. Severe thunderstorm warning right now, probably for some wind. Sarasota is clear. Bradenton, Tampa, all of Pinellas, Hillsborough, clear. No more rain tonight. Polk, just 1 shower north of Lake Wales. The only place getting rain right now is on Florida 31 and 763. So this is Arcadia. This is DeSoto County, south of that Joshua community. Nocatee? I don't think I've seen that on the radar before. Nocatee, is that what you call that, a little community? Some kind of zone that the weather software is programmed in there. I don't know if that's even a real town. Nocatee could be. Anyway, thank you guys. You guys were awesome. Looking forward to coming back tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to find something sciencey. If not, we'll do a lot of this because you guys are so great at it. I love the interaction and the chatting. It always sparks new conversations. Didn't have to use the buzzer tonight. How about that? That's kind of nice. Everybody was on their best behavior. We've really been weeding out the spammers. Oh, somebody asked about the socks. Ashty. Actually, hold on. Okay. Ooh. I can't stretch my leg that far. I've got blue, gray, and fuchsia, pink, some kind of fuchsia socks. I got some fun socks. Okay. Remind me, those of you still watching, I can't believe it's 250 people. Ask about the socks tomorrow. I will try to wear something fun, maybe some kind of cartoon character or something. So there will be fun socks tomorrow. Please remind me and ask. All right. Peace out, folks. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you at 11 if you watch, and if not, tomorrow right here on DPL, the Greg D edition.